Hey, welcome back to and you already know what's going on, man. I'm coming back in this day to make everything make sense. And I know I've been away for a minute for a reason, you know. So the last video that we dropped, well, I dropped, um, I think I was waiting on one particular trade, which was Nas 100, and then the other trades hadn't made the movement, so whatever that I was looking for. So it was really no reason for me to get on because I'll just be repeating. And my life was hectic, so I didn't want to force that. So we're back at it, and we're gonna talk about what happened with this trade. If it hit, if it did hit, uh, whatnot. So you already know it's about a 45-minute to an hour type deal. So make sure you clock in with me. And if I see any trades that I could get into, I am going to get into it because I'm not going to show y'all my live account. I'm going to get down there on the demo trader and show y'all how to actually place this in the market. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I may do one. All right, if I see one. So let's look at it. So the last time we looked at Nas 100, we looked at it off the looked at it as you can see back in June 24, 2025 was the last time we had looked at um this particular trade. I didn't see any reason for us at the moment to redo anything of this trade. Um, so this was in June. Last time we're going to read the notes. Price have entered the trade, and currently in this trade, we are going to wait for the trade to take profit for this week or see if for some reason it hits sell off. So I wanted to at least show y'all what it looked like when you fully believe in yourself. Now, there are measurements you can take, such as partial profit, trailing and stop loss, things like that you can do to keep yourself from hitting the sell loss and losing profit. Once you get into the trade, you can at least profit out of the trade if it goes in the opposite direction, $1. At least $5 to $1 to $5, however. But my whole purpose is this, not to focus on you making money, because I am 100% sure, 100% sure that you can make money with this skill. 100% sure. It's all about owning in on those skill sets and learning yourself. So even though I'm showing you my way, you may not like this way. You actually may like a shorter term. But what I'm trying to show you is you can take this whole overview, right? Boom, and short it down to the small time frames to scalp this and still profit. So I'll be showing you guys a little bit of that too. Not today, but let's get straight to it. So as you can see, this trade on July 14th, which was yesterday, it took profit. Boom, 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 boom. It took profit. Okay. So let's talk about this trade because the last time we looked at this trade, and it entered the market. It was on June 24th of 2025 this year, okay, last month. And then this trade just profit July 14th, 2025. So almost 3 weeks, right? Or 3 weeks and a few days, right? Okay, cool. Um, yeah, about a few weeks. So 2 weeks to three. Um, and like as you can see, if you don't believe me, check this out. We enter in just wanted to get in right here. So the market came back in and entered on this particular candle, right? Once we price hit this, right? Even though it got to this high point and then it closed here, this we weren't into this trade. Yeah, I don't think we were. Oh, we might have been. No, because I pulled the sell loss back and then I went off of this here and then we got in a smaller time frame. I'm trying to see. Yeah. So we waited till this trade had pulled back here, and then we got in on this particular trade right here. So price actually started pushing this trade on June 25th. Okay. So we saw this June 24th, June 25th, boom. We entered on June 24th, June 25th, we're still in the bull. Bull still got the control. So as far as weekly, this is the candle 1, 2, 3. It took a total of 3 weeks for this trade to actually take part. All right, so if you held on to it, kudos. If you got out, well, and profit out early, look, still kudos, because if your anxiety cannot take it, I'm proud that you did that. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna definitely put a green line here to indicate that we had took profit into this trade, right? And then we're gonna do, since we are in a new month, we're gonna delete last month, everything from the monthly to the weekly and the daily time frame, and then we're going to see if we can get back in the market. All right, so let's get into it. And I want to also let you guys know, if you do want to get some mentorship with me, don't be afraid to ask. The channel is free, but the mentorship is not. You know, I know a whole bunch of gurus that will offer you their course, but they won't offer you their time. Now, there's some that will. I ain't gonna say that they won't. There are some that will, but you have to find those courses, and then you got to go through the ones that you may think is a scam, and that are a scam actually, because some are. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out through all this content what's a scam and what's not a scam. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know, you are already messed up, because a scammer what he's only gonna do is skillfully confuse you about how your money is being made. So with that being said, guess what? If you confused, but you think you may know a little bit and it sound right, they're gonna fool your ass. Okay, so what we're doing now, and we're deleting everything upon the month time frame. Everything. Everything. All right. Everything. And then with that, we're going to remarket based off the last movement. And yeah, I don't even know. Now let's see something. The blue. We're gonna delete that because that did good. And then we're gonna delete this. So yes, I'm deleting all my markings. All right. All right. Boom. Previous month close. We're gonna go ahead and delete that too. All right. Now we got that out the way. We are looking at this NAS 100. All right. We're gonna start off the monthly time frame to remark this. All right. So I'm going to move this out the way, even though I'm still going to put it back. Okay. So we're going to move it out the way so we can make our markings. And so as you can see right now, we're in a buying trend. Okay. We just broke above that previous high. So the highest where price ever been at this point in time is here. Right. And then price dropped to the low. And when the low dropped, it dropped to this support here, and then it bounced back up. And this was a nice support because it has been tested multiple times in this area here, right? As a support and as resistance, right? And let me show you where the resistance is. So here, price didn't get that far, but it did pull back, right? So it resisted down. And then since this is on a month, if you go down to that time frame, you will see that price right here bought up and then couldn't break it because it's being resisted back down. And then price tried again, boom, and it broke the previous resistance and then pulled back to test it, retest it as a support, bought up again, came back down, retested that to the same support, and then boom, we bought our way up. So my main thing is what I'm pointing out is that now price is at that support 1, 2, 3 times. So let's see what I want to do. Right now, the overall trend is an uptrend, so we can't deny that. That is the stronger variable at this moment. We're gonna throw in the pivot points there because you know I gotta have my pivot points. If I don't have anything else on my chart, I'm gonna have no pivot points. You feel me? If I don't have anything else, gotta have those. That's just my personal opinion. Now, you can have anything on your chart that you would like, but personally, you ain't got them pivot points, my boy. You don't love yourself. But if you can just spot the pivot points, then you know what I'm saying, you don't really need to look at it. All right, bet. So currently on this month time frame, or weekly time frame, we are above the pivot points. Now check this out. Check this out. These are some things that I'm looking at right now. Check this out. I'm looking at it right here. Price bought up. Boom. It was above that pivot point. It dropped below the pivot point, right? But then it was retesting the support. Support said, all right, get out of here. Back above that pivot point. So for us to want to get in, we want to come right up in this area and then boom. But me personally, I could take it all the way back up to where price was at this resistance level here. That's a quick, short little trade. For me personally, I want to wait to price break out that area because you see it pull back and retest. So a price break here and then pull back and retest. I'm getting in this trade to eat this, right? Boom. So I want to point out some things because I want to make sure all this is beneficial. I want to see if I can find a trend line in here to, let's see. Okay, so this was a better trend line than when price broke out of it. All right. So let's just mark what we see on the month for a second. All right. Now, how this strategy work, guys? You don't work on the month that you're on. You're gonna mark up the last previous month, so we can look at what we're like doing in this month, right? So, I don't know, my Wi-Fi not working or something. All right, so let's do that. We're gonna put this bad boy. Let's actually drag this up here so I don't keep looking down for it. We're gonna do a nice blue. And again, we don't work off of because we're on the month. Well, this is the week, so we need to do the month time frame first. All right. So we're not working on this month candle. Okay. I'm gonna keep saying it so you can know. Not this month's candle. Previous month candle. So it would not be this one. It will be this one that we're gonna mark up. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna put let me put the green cursor back right here. I'm gonna move this red cursor right here. And let's see, make this thicker. That'll work. That'll work. All right. Let's do it. So this down here is the previous monthly open. Because when we're buying from low. So you want to open the price there and then catch price, close price at the top. Okay. So we're going to duplicate that. Oh, boom. And then we're going to put this area on the close of this buying candle, right? This is a strong bullish candle. As you can see, there is no wick far as price pulling back to a lower point. So this gives straight bullish control starting off the bat. And then price got a horizontal. We're gonna do a horizontal. Price, excuse me, does have a higher high, have a monthly high for this point. So we're gonna draw the high. It just doesn't have a low. We're gonna make this low blue. And then we're gonna mark this, okay, because we don't want to get this confused with anything else. So we're gonna mark this as the previous monthly high. All right. And then we're gonna mark this as the previous monthly open. All right, I know the music just went crazy on me. And then we're gonna mark this one as the previous monthly close. Because when you're buying, we want to close at the top. All right. Now we got it. The previous monthly is marked. All right. Let's look at the previous weekly. All right, let me go back actually. On the month time frame. We gotta push this one back because this was okay, cool. On the month time frame, is price higher than the previous monthly high? It tried to break it by right here, but price is not giving a straight like a line above. So when you drop down to the week time frame, we see obviously right here at this candle that price closed above the previous monthly high. So it giving us some good strong not bearish, bullish momentum there. Okay. So what we're gonna do is not mark for this week, the week that we end candle. Right. Somebody said in the back, we're gonna mark the previous week candle. Okay. And as you see, that one has a little bitty wick that we're going to mark. Oh wait, it doesn't. I thought it had a wick. Let's actually go closer to this candle. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have a wick, so it's a even stronger bullish candle. Let me see if I can get my music back on. All right. So we're gonna do. Let's do red this time. So yeah. I'm gonna do that, and then do this one. All right, and you know this is the previous weekly open, previous weekly close, and then we got the previous weekly high. All right, so we gonna mark it previous weekly open because it's a buying candle. You got that right. We got that right. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And then you got the previous weekly close. All right. And then the previous weekly high. No low. All right. As you can see, price is above the previous weekly close, so it opened and closed, where it opened and then closed above the previous weekly close. So you need to see what price is going to do for the daily. So this is the candle for today. We're going to go off of this candle from yesterday. So we're going to get a little closer to this chart. I got this red, but maybe I need to. Oh, I can tone it down so I can see. Let me actually change this one to a different color so you can actually see. There you go. That way you can actually see this, and then I'll just turn the others to purple. Oh, all right, let's get. All right, now we can go back to this. Mm, nah, I don't want to do that. Should I do or a dark orange? Yeah. I'm trying to. Mm, all right, and then the wicks are hella long, so it won't be too hard to draw. So previous week daily open, and since this is a selling candle, it opens from the top and then it closes from the bottom. So you sell high, you buy low. So this would be the previous daily open. Previous daily high, previous daily low. And then price of bought above the previous daily open and it broke above the previous daily high. So we are looking for a buy, and there is opportunity for this buy. We just need to look at the um what do you call it? Because I can't put my finger on it. The smaller time frames. Oh, didn't pull back there. To the weekly high. There's still a small pullback. Right. So let me see. I think for the day, price went up to here before. So I want to see something. All right. I'm trying to. Okay, so on that candle. Yeah, so we're gonna find an entry point on actually one more thing. We're gonna look at this indicator called a volume. And it's basically gonna tell you the strength. So right now it showed you that this was selling and we're still above the pivot levels that we're on the 1 hour. 4 hour it shows strong bullish candle and we're above the pivot points. Um the day is showing some selling, push a little bit of selling. Mm. Yeah, so there is some pulling back, some slowing down, but it's still showing green. As long as it's showing green, I'm going that way. You feel me? So even if I did, it's not enough yet. It's not yet. I don't know. It's not. Yeah. I want to just pause. I was trying to. This would be the 1 and 3. Because the crazy part is for this trade is that the previous data low is down here. And you want to look at that previous data low because then we're going to go a little bit below it. Okay, that's a 1 and 3. And okay, and then let's look at this. Yeah, because I feel like where's the daily? I'm trying to find them, but it's previous daily open, previous daily close. I'm trying. Oh. What did I mess up or something when I? Because I don't really see where I had put the. Oh, they're just super dark, super light. Oh, nope. Yeah, feel comfortable with that now. And then I'm going to show you how to. Well, this is a um 1 and 3. You can get you a 2 to 1. It looks something like this. On the week time frame, it looks something like this. You can do a. But then do a. I think that 2 to 1 is cool. Or 1 and 3. As you see, I've been using this 1 and 3 and it's been consistent, right? So, let's get the entries and stuff and then we'll move on because I always spend too long on NAS 100. So this would be the golden trade. You don't have to trade anything else. If I find another point you can get in it, I would definitely let me see. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get in on the trade at 8. Okay. All right, give me a second, y'all. Okay, so because we did it off the day, I want to make sure I'm on the right candle. Yeah, so we're getting on this point here, and then we need to find it off the hour because we're on a daily time frame. So you want to get your points of the entry exactly to the T on your 1 hour, 4 hour. So I'm gonna do my one. All right. So if you look to your right, there's some numbers on the side over here, over here, over here. So let me see if I got my arrow and I'll point to it. If you look over there are numbers over there. These numbers. This is where you're gonna get the numbers from. So you're gonna put your cursor right there on the entry point. Yeah, right there. And okay. So our entry. Yeah. So let me put in my phone first, and I'll put it on my trading trades this week. So we got Nas 100 bullish. All right. And then entry would be 2, 3 to 23,069.8. Again, entry is 23,069.8. And then we're going to go to where our sell loss is, and we're going to put the cursor right on at the end of that sell loss, right at the bottom of it. And you're going to look to your right and take the numbers from that. So yes, is that sell loss would be 22,611.7. Again, it's 22,611.7. That's what be the sell loss, and then my take profit that we're going to um utilize, which means we're going to get out of the trade once it hit this. Is I'm gonna put it right there. TP is 23,651.5. All right. So 23,651.5. I'm gonna put it right there so you guys can see it as well, and then I'm going to enter that on this trade too. So we're gonna put it here. I'm gonna take my notes. I'm gonna go back and take my notes. I should have been doing that while we was going through it, but anyway. So let's put the trade idea by EN is, again, make sure you got these 23,069.8. And then your take profit is, well, your TP would be 23,651.5. 651.5. My bad. And then the sell loss of that trade would be 22,611.7. So, and we're gonna put the date on this trade. I'm gonna put it right there. This is 07/15/25. I'm gonna lock that in. Boom. Now we're gonna go over here, and then we're gonna enter it. Okay, so you're gonna click trade. We're gonna do a buy stop. Not a market, we're gonna do a stop. We're gonna do a buy stop because this would be a sell stop. But we're gonna do a buy stop, and then we're gonna put the price in where we want the so the entry point price was the entry, take profit, sell off. So price is entry, okay? So you're gonna do 23,000 069.8. And then we're gonna do 1 units. We don't need to do this. You can't go lower. You can do that. You can do a 0.5. We can go 1. That's fine. And then for take profit, we're gonna do 23,000. $23,651.5. No comma. The stop loss here is 22,611.7. And I could have made this easy by copy and paste, but whatever. We're gonna run off the week. Time in force. So the leverage we have is a 50-to-1. Tick value is 1 penny of the US dollar. Trade value, it shows is 23,069.80 on the US dollar. The reward is 58%, or which would be 581.7 US dollars. Risk 46%, and we may lose like $458.10. So buy stop means I want the market to stop, put me into the trade, keep going, and take me out. So I'm gonna make sure we got everything right. We're risking 46% on this trade. We really want to do 2%. So if you I'm gonna say risk 0.2% on the trade, right? So, and if you do that, now we are 0, because it says 0.2 of the trade, so that's 20%. 0.2 0.02% of the trade, which means we could take profit of $232.68, and then could lose $183.24. And as you can see, that's what we have here. And then our reward would be 23%, and the risk will be having 18%. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what you want to risk. So if I say I want to risk 10% of my account, it'll be a 0.10, and then that's what it will. We will get a reward of 100. and 16, and then risk 90 something. So it all depends. So we're going to go back to the 0.20, and we're going to do this for the week. So you have a units of a 0.04. All right. And we're going to stop this trade. Let's do it. Now, take profit order placed on this trade. All right. So let me close this. Okay. Oh, these are not my trades. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. Cool. It just told me the directions. And to make sure that it's down there, you can put it up down here, and then you'll see. Oh, well, let me see. Orders. There we go. Let me do this. So we've, like I said, spent too long on this trade already. Yeah, these are trades that that's not a trade I took. That's not a trade I'm taking. Yeah, I'm confused. I think the only one I want is this one right here. So you cancel that, cancel this. And these are, yeah, this is the trade we just took. I wanted to make sure we're still, okay, cool. So boom, that's in. So we're gonna see how that work, right? See if it actually take profit, whatever it's gonna do. Boom. So we're gonna go on by our business. Move on to the next one. Because we have already spent too long on this particular trade. And we always do. So the next trade we're gonna go do is gold. Put my music back on so things can be straight, you know what I'm saying? All right. There's a few things I wanted to happen with gold, but main thing I want to do is break the previous daily low. It broke it, but then it instantly came back to this trend and it's doing crazy stuff back and forth. Um, so I wanted to see what my monthly look like for this trade. Yeah, so we're still on June monthly. So we're gonna delete this trade too. But I'm not gonna delete that pattern I saw. So we're gonna do the monthly. We're gonna delete that. Boom, boom. Delete all the green, and then we're gonna delete some more. All the blue. Previous weekly low, the blue, the blue, and then we're gonna drop down to the daily. And we're gonna delete that previous weekly high, that previous weekly close, that previous daily open. Boom. Even though this bounced off. This is gold, so it's doing what it do. Mm. All right. And then I'm gonna take the pivot points off for a second. All right, because we know we're above the pivot point, and this is a W formation. And if I want to be technical, because this is go, it's not necessarily going to be a straight line, but it did cut through and it's not peaking above this line yet. So I'm gonna draw it about right there. This zone right here. I'm gonna make this a bright yellow zone. You know what I'm saying? From here to here, price is just bouncing, boom, bouncing. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see price break above that zone. If it's gonna do it, if it's not, it's gonna break below that zone. But I want to see price break a zone. So we'll mark it, and then we'll see what price do. So this was on July 7th, July 4th. Today is the 15th, so last week. Price is current. Wait, no, not last week. When we first started, the beginning of July. Yeah, yeah. So price is currently still buying. We're looking for a continue of the breaker structure or looking for price to change character. Price broke below the previous daily low and then pulled back to retest the previous daily open. Price is still above pivot point of all time frames. We want to look at the chart fresh on Sunday or Monday to see what the movement of the market creates to set up the new week. Price is bouncing off a major support on higher and lower time frames. Price have a valid trend line. See what price do if we're going to break the trend line or reject. So that's kind of what we were saying. We want to see if price break the trend line. And I don't think I'm gonna go back to 900 at the end to put the notes. So let's draw the monthly time frame off of this. The monthly candle. We only work it off the candle. Yep, yep. So we're gonna move this to the right. And then we're gonna work off this bullish candle right here. Not the month that we in, but the month we was in, okay? All right. All right. All right. So we're gonna go here. Since it's a buying candle, you got it. We're gonna mark the open from below, and then we're gonna mark the closing from the top. Yep, you got it. And then let me delete this zone right here, this yellow zone right here, so we can see the wick itself for this, which is the monthly high. We're gonna turn it green, and this would be that previous monthly high. All right, and then there's no low because it's a bullish candle, so we're just gonna now mark that previous monthly open. Previous monthly close. And then previous monthly high. All right, cool. Cool beans. And as you can see, price is not above the previous monthly high, but it did break above the previous monthly close. Okay. We can pull this one back over to here now. All right, so let's drop down to the week. So we see this candle, even though price had dipped in it before, right? It stayed pretty consistent above this, and then it started touching this previous monthly close as support like over and over. And you see this done in the past too. Right. So the support, support. It broke it, right? Cool. And then to help you even see it even more, we could break down to the smaller time frame, and then you can see it better. Price bought up and then hit this major, hit this support for it as the previous monthly close. Price dropped below to test this trend line, the support, but it didn't keep it resisted down. So it came back up to respect support. And this is where you got the inverted head and shoulder. Boom. So price is respecting support. So it is touching. But my thing would be that, ever since it made that break for the support, been touching support. So it should be more noticeable now. So let's go here to the candles on the left. We're looking for the weekly. So we're only going to focus off that weekly candle for the previous week, not the week that we're in. Okay. So this candle here. Yes. All right. Boom. Boom. Let's do it. Doom, 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 doom. We do purple. And then okay, cool. And then I'll close that a little bit. And then we'll do a clone of that. And put that right on top. And then we'll do, yep, the previous weekly high. Turn that bad boy purple. Then you got the previous weekly low right there. Boom. And I'm gonna turn down a little darker so you can see it. There you go. So let's mark it. The previous weekly low. We also got the previous weekly high. And then we got the open and close. So previous weekly open, since it's a buying candle. And then it's a close at the top. So previous weekly close. And as you can see, price right now, where we are currently today in this week, we are currently above the previous weekly open, and then we're above the previous weekly close. But we're not above the previous weekly high. We also have broken below this trend line, and we're at a major support that we keep testing. So let's drop down to the daily and see what the daily gives before I give you what I think for this trade. So we're not working off the candle that we're in today. We're working off of yesterday candle, which would be this bad boy right here. Boom, boom. Baby, baby. And then we're gonna do the same thing, give it some characteristics. Look at me. It's not gonna be purple. Let's do pink. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Okay. And then we're gonna mark this. Yep. Just run with it. Oh, this is the red. I'm stupid. This is a candle. This is all right. Cool, cool, cool. And then see, there's no wick, so it's straight. Start off with the bulls and control, and it's the previous daily open. And then it's the previous daily close. previous daily open high, and then there's no low. So price has not broken below the previous daily open, and it has not broken above the previous daily high. So it's showing some selling on the volume of the month. That's a green. Start selling on the day. Selling on the 4-hour. We actually pushed below the previous daily open on an hour. Okay. So this trend line has been broken, buying, and then it could have stopped here, or it came back here and went back into the buy, but it broke into the previous daily close, dropped below to the previous daily open and closed below that, and now we're back in the previous weekly open. So if this thing is going to sell, honestly, if it's going to 4-hour, 1 hour, yeah. Let me see what my pivot points are. We're not quite below the pivot points yet, so I'm trying to think. All right, this trade is gonna be iffy because you can trade this back down to this support here, and then see what it's gonna do. Yeah, so this gonna be if you want to type deal, like if you want to trade this, but I'm not telling you to trade this. That makes sense. Um, so if it's gonna break that trend line, I don't even know for real. So honestly, I'm not going to give anything on this trade. I actually thought about that. Excuse me. I want to see what this trade do. Um, Obviously, so it needs to make that push. Like you can catch this movement down to here because it did in the past, but I want it to break like this, and then I want to catch the movements down to here. So I'm going to just watch this trade, right? I am going to watch this trade. Actually, let's go back down to the 1 hour. Let's go to the week, and let's notate what we see. Sorry, yeah, that's my wife for the week. Uh, um, yeah, I want to see if price going. I want to see how it price reacts. Um, so 0, 7, 15, 25. Um, Looking to see what price decides to do. Price have not broken below above the previous weekly high or daily. or monthly. Price is below, this price below the previous daily close. Is that what it is? Yeah, price it dropped below the previous daily close and closed the previous daily open. Yeah. Okay. Price is price have broken the trend line on the 4 hour and higher. Um, price is below previous weekly close and closed below and below the previous weekly close and closed below the previous daily open. Looking for price to go to the previous weekly low and retest major support. I see any. Are we above a pivot point? I mean, oh, not below our pivot points yet. Not currently below pivot point on the 4 hour. All right. So what about the day? Any pivot points? Yeah, above the pivot points on the day. Let me see what I'm looking at. I think I see something. There we go. Nah, we're not below. We're not below yet. So yeah, on any time frame or any time frame. Maybe. Look on a week. We're good. We're good for our one. So we gonna lock that bad boy in. Um, yeah. I want to make sure this thing is a total change before I, me, myself, and I decide to get in this trade. You feel me? So we're gonna go ahead and put this bad boy here. At this moment, I still think it is a buy, but if it breaks this trend here, I wanted to make sure it goes down here where the previous week low is, and then we can literally trade this trade possibly down to if it breaks here, I'm show you. If price come here, breaks below, pull back, we can trade all the way down for sure to the previous monthly open, and then see if price can either come back up here to retest or whatnot. If it doesn't break that trend, boom, we can. This is a start and beautiful thing of beginning of a trend for as far as the sale. But if not, then this trade could backfire and then pull here and then not here, pull down to there, respect that support, boom, going back above the trend line, and boom, we in here. So we'll monitor this, we'll monitor it, but that's kind of what I got right now. So Where is my notes? All right. These notes need to be over here. Boom. And we're gonna lock it in together. There we go. All right. So we got gold, we got Nas 100, which we already got that trade in. So I ain't looking for another one, but we got Nas 100. We're gonna look at GBP, JPY, and JPY USD, and I'm Audi 530. I haven't looked at these today. So in order to trade this bullish opportunity, price will have to break above the previous daily high. There is a a double bottom formation on the 1 hour time frame. Bullish triangle found on the 4 hour time frame. As of June 24th, 2025, we are going to all new. We're going to let all news play out. And then news is great. Yellow folders for GBP and JPY can trade until Friday. Red folders price broke above the previous daily high, pulled back to retest the previous daily open. Looking for a strong buy. We'll mark the chart Sunday, but we did not. So we gonna go ahead, delete that bad boy. Booyah. Delete that bad boy. Booyah. Go ahead and I may want to pause this so I can be on this call really quick. And then get back on here. I'm trying to see. So while I assess this real quick. That's we're above the previous daily high. Oh, shaking now. Look at me. Golden it. Boom. So move the pivot point at. Oh, this is golden. I like this. It's actually doing what I wanted to do. Let's look at news real quick. Actually, let's pause here. And then I get back on here and show y'all GBP JPY because I have to take this call. I have to take this call. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like where this is going. Because I think you could trade all the way back up to here. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, let's pause. I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna come back. Okay. And then we're gonna do part two, which is GBP, JPY USD, and then boom, we out if out 30. Hey, so we back at it, man. Appreciate you. Let me take that little break. So we're gonna look at GBP, JPY USD, and come up with my analysis of what I think and move forward from there. So we're at a major support. Price is respecting that support and has been there in the past as support and as resistant as well. We're above the pivot point. So um, honestly, we're looking more for the bullish. I actually been monitoring this for a while. So if you go all the way back, you're going to see that we broke a major support level, right? And then once we break this level up to here, it's game from there because this was the W formation right there. So what I'm saying is from this point about right here, from these points about right here. All right. And then yeah, wait. So these points about right here. Yeah. And as you can see, we just broke out of that specific area. I wish I could just drag this over. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. So this was the neckline of it. This is the neckline of the W formation of the overall. So I'm going to put neckline zone. Right. So essentially, we're looking for price to buy up to here, here, right? And we broke this major support. So, let's look at GBP JPY before we go any further. Um, so you got GBP for Tuesday, Monday. It doesn't matter because Monday passed. So for today, GBP was in the red, and then there was no JPY news. Yeah. And then GBP is red for Wednesday. And then it goes back to yellow, yellow, yellow. JPY is yellow. And then for Thursday, GBP goes to orange. JPY is yellow. And yeah, Friday, no JPY news and no GBP news. So essentially for this week, I usually want to trade that because there's red folders for this week. So I'm going to mark it and then I'm going to put a notation that we will monitor this trade due to the status of news. So due to the status of news, we will watch this trade set up this week. GBP, JPY have red news until Friday. I'm gonna put the date right there. 07/15/25. Nope. Okay. So um yeah, so let's see let's see what we got going on here. We're gonna mark it. Wait, I got it. Price has broken above this major support on the overall time frame. I'm looking on the month. Price has broken the overall support or no resistance neckline zone and looking price is above pivot points on the monthly time frame. All right. It's gonna go down. Actually, let me see. All right, so we need to delete everything for the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. All right, so let's do it. We're gonna blue. We're gonna delete that. We're gonna delete that. I'm turning the music back on so we don't be so quiet. Boom, 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 boom. So we're deleting all the previous weekly lows, all the previous weekly highs, monthly lows, all the monthly highs, all the highs, all the lows, all the opens, and all the close. All the king men, all the king horses couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Okay, I'm done. Almost there. Boom, ba boom. All right, we got it all gone. All erased. All right. Remove this line real quick so we can mark what we need to mark. This is the candle. It's a very bullish candle, so we're not going to work off of this month. We're going to work off of last month. So like we've been doing all the other ones, you know what I'm saying? Same thing. We're going to mark the open, the closing, and the high if available, and the low if it's available. Um, yeah, all right, cool. I don't want to teal. Let's do, there you go. That would be the opening. There's no low, so we don't need a close. I mean, we don't need the low, but there's no wick. And then we're on the horizontal ray for the previous monthly high. So let's mark it. This is the previous monthly open since it's a buying candle. And then we're again marking the same thing previously monthly close. And then the previous monthly high. And as you can see right now, price have not broken the previous monthly high. Now it tried to get past it. That's what that wick is up there. It tried to get past it, but it did not close above the previous monthly high. All right. Let's drop down to our week. We gotta clean that up. Let's clean that up. All right. So this will be today, or yeah, today. And it didn't quite close above the previous monthly high. It got there, it made it, but it didn't close quite above it, right? It's barely trading it. So we're going to use the candle that's for the previous week. And then we're going to move on to the next. So boom, boom, boom. We're going to change the color, you feel me? Ah, my knee is hurting. We're going to turn that bad boy to purple. Nah, no purple. Yellow. We'll do yellow. There you go. Clone that bad boy. Now we're going to mark the close of this candle. And then we're going to mark the high of this candle. And let me see, is there low? There's no low on this candle, so it's a bullish candle. We're going to mark it. It's a bullish, so we mark in the opening below the close above. So previous weekly open. Previous weekly close. And then, because this is the monthly high, then it's the previous weekly high. Previous weekly high. And then to notate that as we go, price have not broken above the previous monthly high. On the month time frame, price have not broken above the previous weekly high. On the weekly time frame, price have on the weekly time frame, price broke. It hasn't broke above the monthly high or the weekly high. The previous weekly high, or yeah, whatever. I ain't gonna put that on there. And for the daily. Okay. So yeah. So let's look at the daily. I'm gonna go look closer since that particular candle is a small candle. All right, so it wouldn't be today here. It'll be here. So we're gonna do maybe we probably can do it. Teal right now. We probably can blue. Let's do the blue. And then you're gonna put it right there for the closing of this red candle. We're gonna mark the opening since it's selling. We'll sell at the top. And then we're gonna put the high of this candle blue. And then all right, boom. I'm gonna mark it. Let's mark it. So we have the previous daily close. We have the previous daily open. The previous daily high. And again, I'm showing you my technique over and over. And then you got the previous daily low. We're gonna turn that bad boy color. Let's turn that black. Let me make it thicker than a snicker. All right, cool. So, question: have price broken the previous daily high and have price broken below the previous daily low? No. Um, if price does break above the previous daily open, I mean the previous daily high, then we're looking to trade the previous daily. Oh, price did break above the previous daily high on the lower time frame, but it's also going to pull back. Pivot. I want to see what market gonna do. I'm not gonna necessarily because of the news. The news is really what's keeping me from actually wanting to say, oh, here's an opportunity to get into this trade. So this is definitely a nice buy opportunity. But I want to see what the market is going to do with this, you know? So because of the news, we are going to stay out of this market. Price broke the previous daily high on the 1 hour time frame. What about the 4 hour? Did it break it? Yep. Price broke the previous daily high on the 4 hour time frame. And you can get in there, but I would like to see it break because we're at the pivot point and we're above pivot points on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, on the daily, yeah, on the weekly. So we're above pivot points on all time frames. That's essentially what we're looking at. Price is above pivot point on all time frames. Um, and then what we're getting? We're getting a little bit of selling on the hour. Green, um, green, green. Okay. So you could necessarily get into this trade if you want to. Me personally, I'm not. I'm not because of I'm not confident. That makes sense. Like, because of news. News doesn't make me comfortable. Um, but based off what I'm seeing, I think price can definitely come back and pull back to retest the previous daily open, even retest the previous daily close before we go back into the direction. So, um, I like to wait. This is the two things I think price can do. Even though it broke above this daily, I'm looking for price to pull back like this, and then it can continue to go up from here, or price can pull back and retest the previous daily open, and then continue to go up from here, or price can come back down, break below the previous daily close, test the previous pivot point, so that was be a really deep pullback, and then try to go in that direction, or price could come down, break past the previous daily high, break past the previous daily open, break past the previous daily close, break past the pivot point, break that um uh that demand zone there, and then come back up like this and go for a sell. Um, and this essentially right here, that particular movement would shift the whole market. So this right here would change the character of the market. So um yeah, I'm looking for price to pull back. And then um give me a formation because this is the formation. Boom, boom, boom. But we're at the neckline here. So it has to pull back to gain momentum. It's probably gonna do like a triangle pattern or um some type of pattern. And then it's gonna buy up. Because what I don't want, don't want to enter the market here, pull back to here, put my um sell loss right here, and it goes in the opposite direction. So mainly because of news, it's not giving me what I need. So I'm okay to sit this one out. Um, Let me see something real quick. And I think this one had broke out of that. It had broke out of that pivot point. Yeah, it's crazy. Cause once it broke out of this trend, it went on its own trend about like this. Yeah. I want to see what it's gonna do personally. So this is what we're looking like for this particular trade. Let me delete this. No, I'm not gonna delete this. We're gonna keep this and you're gonna keep this. And we're gonna lock it. Boom. That's all we got. Now we're moving on to the last trade, JPY USD. I tell you every time, I do not like JPY USD that much, but because it moves well, one of my students, I kind of one of my go-getters, Eric, shout out to Eric, put me on this trade. I like to monitor this trade to see where it moved from the first time he spotted it. So we know JPY, it didn't have too much of a bad news, but GBP did. So the last thing that we left on this trade was looking for price to buy up to the previous monthly high to reset the major resistance zone. And we'll check this trade. So let's see what it do. What did this thing do? All right. Well, wait, what month was this in? Was it? Oh, here it goes. Yes, we'll have to move the months. Uh, yeah, so let's do it. Let's move the months, the week, and adjust this trade accordingly. Um, so everything that has a color must go. Everything must go. All right. What's the last one? And again, Nas 100 for some reason takes me forever to do. And I think it was because I was showing you guys like how to use your paper trail. I'm going to do a video in detail of how to set up the paper trail, um, enter the, enter the paper trail, how you basically like practice, you know. I mean, not that zone. That zone must stay, but this zone must go. All right, we almost there. We almost there. Got like a few more. All right. So let's look at the candle, not this candle that we're in right now, last month's candle. So we're gonna move it so we can look at the highs, the lows, all that yada 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 yada. So we're gonna put those back. Okay. All right. Let me see. I want this a little lighter. All right. There's one. There's two. So that's the opening and close for this month. That's the high. And this is the low. All right. So previous monthly high. All right. Previous monthly open. And since we're buying, we know we open from the bottom. And then previous monthly close. All right. Okay. Oh, and then the previous monthly low. My bad. Previous monthly low. Now we're gonna put these two back where we got them. Boom, boom. Okay, right now price is not above the previous monthly high. It is below the major resistance zone. Uh, Pivot point wise, and it has not broken above the pivot point yet. So we're gonna write that down as we go. For the month, let's actually tone that down a little bit. For the month, time. Really? For the month time frame, price did not break above pivot points. Price have not reached major resist zone yet. All right. Price have not broken above. I said the monthly time frame. I don't know. Okay. Price did not break above pivot point. Nope. And then price have not reached a major resistance zone yet. Price also hasn't broke the previous monthly high, so we want to notate that. Or previous monthly low. Price have not broken above previous monthly high or below previous monthly low. All right, so let me set this one right there. So right now, overall, just to put you in the mindset in the sense, overall, this is a downtrend, right? You can see the market is going down. Where's my arrow? Where's my arrow? Ah, so you see the market's going down, right? And then it pulled back temporarily, creating this higher low. And then price broke it to a lower low, created a higher low, broke it to a lower low, created a higher low. Let's go like this. Yeah, so boom. Overall, let me see. All right. Boom. Okay. Okay, that's what we are. The price broke here, boom, and then pull back previous higher low. We're gonna delete that. All right. So essentially, if you really want to think about it, let's just put this in perspective. Okay. So I'm going to press the red. I'm going to make it thicker. Let's bring it up a little bit. All right. So this would be the higher low once it broke outside this trend line. This would be a higher low. And then price made this lower low. Here. Boom. Boom. So in order for a sale to continue, price must continue that. So and then it pushed it here. Boom. Right. But then now price having a hard time because of in order for this sale to continue, it has to break this low, confirming this higher low, creating another higher low. And essentially right now it created a higher low, pull back right here, create this higher low, and then followed by a lower high. So so boom, boom, boom. And so my main thing is we want to drop down and see what it's doing for those weeks to, okay, so we're below pivot point on the week time frame. Where's my notes? Where's my notes? Anyway, we're below pivot points. Um, price we're gonna work off? We're gonna work off of this price. All right, we almost there. Almost there. We're literally on the last one. Don't be a crybaby. Man, you could just exit out because it's not for you anyway. It's for me. So if you don't want to be a part, exit out, bro. You're just watching me be great because that's what greatness do. Okay, nah, but that's for real. All right. So now we're marking the weekly. Since it's selling, we marked the closing, and now we're about to mark the opening, which will be here. And then previous weekly close. Previous weekly open. All right. Mm, let me see. This would be the low. We're gonna turn that into orange. And then we also gonna have a boom, not quite, it was almost there. Boom. So previous weekly low. Then previous weekly high. Barley. All right. And that's open and closed. So now let's drop down to the day. And then we're gonna assess a few things. Not this day, but that day. Okay. Not yesterday, but today. No, I'm just kidding. I'm weird. I'm kidding. Okay. So as you can see, excuse me, this is a very bearish candlestick because it has no um wick for as a high point. So it just starts selling off the back because sellers was in control. So we go work this purple, boom, and then we're gonna duplicate that bad boy, do another purple there, thicker than the Snicker, boom, boom. Wait, wait. Okay, there you go. Ouch. And then the the orange is the weekly, so I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna put a purple right here, and it's gonna say previous daily low. Um, previous daily close since it's selling, and then previous daily open. Previous daily open. All right, so price has broken below the previous daily low. So where's my notes? I gotta find the notes first before we go anywhere further. Once I find it, we'll be straight. Okay, don't look like I'm gonna find my notes. Uh-oh, but I never found them way up there. Okay. And we was on the daily. Gonna open this bad boy back out. Okay. Price have broken below the previous daily low on the daily time frame. All right. So I don't think there was any bad news for JPY, but USD is it's always terrible, but since it's the pair after the leading pair, it's okay. So we can look at opportunity for a sale for sure. Let's drop down to the 1 hour. So then you got the one pivot points right there. We're dead on with it too. Boom. All right. Let me see what I can do. There you go. Let's see. I think I see a nice looking. Let's make this where I can see it. I'm gonna do something like that. So 1 hour is just a 4 hour. Price broke that there, so you could enter in right here. Let me see something, because the main entry for this short position, you would have wanted it right here, and it hasn't happened yet, so that's cool. Because price broke the candlestick here, and then you want to get in there. So you should pull the sellouts a little bit back above the previous daily low. Pivot point is all the way up there. Let me see something. Yeah. Right here. And then you do a 1 and 3. There goes the 1 and 3. Let's see what price did it pull back. Yeah, it didn't quite enter in this trade yet. So okay, so I ain't gonna think too hard on that part. We can look into that. So we're looking for selling opportunities. Overall is a sell. For hour. Okay. Yeah. Okay, boom. I'll give this, yeah. Yeah. So let me give you the points real quick. The first point as far as entry wise on this one. Stay with me, almost there. About to give you the points to this. This is JPYUSD. And then you got the entries to sell opportunity. Entry TP sell. All right. Entry point is 0.006709. 0.006709. And then And then your take profit would be 0.006604. And then your sell loss would be uh right there. 0.0. I'm gonna have to come back to my TP because wait 0.006791. And I'll put it in my, like I said, down there just for the heck of it. So let me go back to that take profit 6604. All right, so yeah, let's do that. We're gonna boom. Well, before we do that, Forex Factory one more time. Um, got JPY, so no JPY news for today. Kudos. Of course, USD is red and yellow. So then for Wednesday, JPY, no JPY. Thursday, JPY is yellow. And then Friday, there's JPY. Oh, yellow, JPY. So yeah, USD is crazy, but JPY looks pretty good. So you can take that trade. We'll just place them into here. So we're gonna do a sell stop. So this is a sell order, a sell stop order. The entry port piece would be 0.0067009. Um, I'll take profit would be 0.006604. And then the sell loss would be 0.06791. Um, 0.06791. Wait. Oh, that's the sell loss. It's up there. Bars units. What is this looking like? Um, 0.01 put value. I want to risk. Let's see. We're gonna let's do 0.02. So which mean that says 333, which means 5001 pip value. Nope. Lower 3.33 of the risk 2.25%, so I can make okay. USD. Where this value at? Right here. So I see where you put everything else, but where is the take profit? 0.006604. 0.006604. Price. Oh, 0.20. Then that makes sense. Nope. So let's go back down. 0.01. Yeah. It says 10%. 0.2. 0.2. Or it's 2%. It's like $20 USD. Okay, bet. Boom, my bad. For the week, and we're gonna put that order in. Boom. What? Um, that's not making any sense. Let's do this. And active take profit. Now I don't know. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna go back and put this in, and then this is everything for inactive. I don't know what any of these are for, but oh, I have to go back and put this part in because I think I messed up on that. But yeah, um, let's cancel this order. I was on Nas 100. I'm gonna put that back in, and then this is the okay. So I'm trying to understand. Okay, cool. That's what we got going on. All right. So I'm gonna go back and put this in, and you got it. So that's what we're looking at for right now. And while you're trying to figure out this crazy life, make sure you always stay tapped in with yourself. Make sure you stay connected with yourself. And through all this, while you fighting and feeling at the same time, at some point in time, you're going to say, and honestly, life is like that. You know what I'm saying? Ups, down, left, right, emotions all over the place. So stay tapped in. It means a lot that you watch this journey. And even if you don't, I used to talk to myself. So see you next time here at all right. Peace.